What can you learn from a lobster? Find out next on today's daily video.
How do lobsters grow? I don't care how lobsters grow, but I was interested. And it points out that a lobster is a soft, mushy animal that lives inside of a rigid shell. That rigid shell does not expand. So how does a lobster grow? Well, as a lobster grows, that shell becomes very confining, and the lobster feels itself under pressure and uncomfortable, so it goes under a rock formation, protects itself from predatory fish, casts off the shell, and produces a new one. And eventually, that shell becomes very uncomfortable as the lobster grows, so back under the rock, lobster repeats this numerous times. The stimulus for the lobster to be able to grow is that it feels uncomfortable. Now, if lobsters had doctors, they would never grow, because as soon as a lobster feels uncomfortable, it goes to the doctor, gets the volume, gets a Percocet, feels fine, and would never cast off its shell. So what we have to realize is that in times of stress, there are also signals for time for growth. This story was important for me because it allows me to understand that in order to adapt and in order to deal with stress, I've got to be able to recognize that I'm uncomfortable, to recognize that it's time for growth. It's time for me to shed what it is that I've used to this point to grow. And it's time to find a new way to handle whatever obstacle, whatever stress that I'm under at that time. So like the lobster, a signal for growth can be that uncomfortableness, can be that uneasiness. And it's a great story that's allowed me to shed my shell and make room for growth.